What's poppin', y'all? The biggest failed marketing campaign or flop of the year goes to the stove and the Snoop Dogg quitting smoking thing. Now, this is interesting because it was the campaign or post that got the most engagement out of anything that we had seen in the end of the year. But as we're figuring out now, that clearly was most likely largely a waste of money. As this Rolling Stone article came out saying, Snoop Dogg cashed out with giving up smoke ad. The brand that paid him can't say the same. So pretty much there was a post that said, hey, I'm giving up smoking, give me some time while I heal, or just give me some time, right? And then he comes out and he says, oh no, I'm giving up smoke, which is like the smoke stove, and he's using this stove, and it was an ad, and people thought, oh well, that's funny, he's not actually quitting weed. Now what happened is Solo Stove, the company who used the rapper's love of smoking as a marketing tool last year, has announced a new CEO after the campaign failed to raise revenue. It said it was clever, but apparently not enough to make a difference in anyone's pockets other than Snoop's. They're going to get a new CEO, new president, director, and they decided to separate after the campaign didn't bring in any substantial revenue for the brand. And they said, while our unique marketing campaigns raised brand awareness of Solo Stove to an expanded and new audience of customers, it did not lead to the sales lift that we had planned, which, combined with the increased marketing investments, negatively impacted our EBITDA, Andrea Tarbox, interim CFO, said in a statement. I was about to read her name as TurboTax. We believe there's a significant opportunity for us to build awareness and that these new campaigns will expand our reach and benefit our brands over the long term. Maris had previously stated that the brand saw a boost in social media followers after their team up with Snoop, with around 60,000 users gaining awareness of the brand. However, 60,000 users didn't buy smokeless fire pits, unfortunately. Meanwhile, the rapper's social posts about giving up smoke racked up millions of views. So this is very interesting because the majority of hip-hop fans, if we knew that this was the product, that they were going to pay Snoop Dogg for an ad, we'd probably tell them, yeah, this is a terrible idea. Do not do that. It's going to be a complete waste of money. Because if you look at this place, at this Stove Fire's website, solostove.com, their cheapest stove is $250. It's like this little bonfire thing. They've got a mid-tier one, which is $450, and they've got another one that's $600. Now, I'm not saying this is like expensive, but for this type of thing, it's for somebody that is an actual consistent camper. It's for a mature audience within a niche, not by age, but maturity and how long they've been engaging in the activity. And while Snoop Dogg does have a massive brand, and everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is, right? Across all demographics and ages, mainly he's hip hop. And that's gonna be where the biggest buzz is generated for this campaign. And hip hop is a city thing. Now, some people have already done the whole race thing where they talk about it. They're like, oh, black people don't go camping in comparison to white people. And I don't think that's necessarily all of it when attaching it to hip hop. Like maybe that's true, right? Maybe there are significantly less black people that go camping than white people, although there are significantly less black people in general than white people in America. But I think this is a city thing. For example, hip hop was born and bred in cities, particularly New York City, but it's spread city to city. It's an urban thing, and camping is not really a city thing. If people from the city go camping, probably very rare. And if they do, they're doing the basic camping, right? They're not going to invest in something that's $250 or $450 that they can use as a stove and a fire pit all the time. They're like, nah, we'll just use one of these $25 make-a-stoves or make-a-grills for whenever we go, because we probably go once or twice a year. Now, what would have actually probably made a lot more sense and maybe cost a similar amount, actually it would probably cost maybe a little bit more, is like a Joe Rogan, right? A Joe Rogan spans a wider audience. He also actually loves smoking weed. And Joe Rogan also has an outdoorsy brand. Like, the guy loves hunting. He loves just doing all these types of, I think he, archery. I think he said he loves archery. He just loves being out in the outdoors, camping, all of that stuff. So he's also attracted an audience that's into that type of stuff. Now, who knows how much Snoop Dogg costed versus Joe Rogan, but Snoop Dogg's not cheap. I know for a fact they paid him a bag, because Snoop Dogg has one of the biggest brands in the world, really. And within hip-hop, he's definitely not cheap. So I don't know who costs more, Joe Rogan or him, but this is also an example of people probably thought, yo, this is a great marketing campaign. So many people got attention, or this product got attention from so many people that had never heard of it before. And yes, that's effective. And it's good if it's already a mature brand that doesn't need to generate sales from the marketing campaign. So if it's a Nike or something, which I guess isn't that great of an example because hip hop loves Nike and they'd wear Nike, but let's just take it for lack of a better example off the top of my head. these brands, they're just spending the money without necessarily the intention of getting an ROI that they can track. Like if they spend $1 million, it's just for brand awareness. Kind of like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all these luxury brands, which I actually did an interview with someone that does advertising for luxury brands. You should watch it. I'll link it down below. It's really good. And you get some insight into a lot of these luxury brands. They just spend a ton of money on events and stuff, and also marketing campaigns that they don't know if it's generating sales. They can't really track it. It's like brand awareness. Same thing that McDonald's does, same thing that Rolex does. But this company, clearly they wanted to drum up sales. So they're still in the point where they're like, hey, our marketing efforts need to produce sales for us, and we see how much we spent here and how much more our sales are than they are regularly. And it came to be that it didn't generate much sales, which I'm not surprised, because do we even associate Snoop Dogg with camping too? Like if he was a rapper that's brand is aligned to camping is already an odd thing that I can't think of off the top of my head. But they would have been better off probably doing a regular campaign that got significantly less attention, but the right attention from the right people for this, because this does solve a problem and the product does seem pretty cool. I wouldn't buy it because I don't go camping as often as some of these people for it to make sense. I don't go camping enough for it to make sense. And I go camping significantly more than the average like city person or person that grew up in the city. And what does that tell you? I'm not even mature enough of a person in that market to buy this. But it's interesting to see that even companies like this, which, can we even get these guys' revenues numbers? Or is it still a private company? Revenue for 2022. Oh, actually we can. Solo Brands, which I guess it has everything. So Solo Brands, 517 million in 2022, which is, damn, it's not bad at all. That's actually a lot. Oh, I think it increased or decreased. Well, we don't have the 2023 numbers, which makes sense. We just got into 2024. So this is actually a pretty big company. But when it gets to the point where the companies don't really care, I guess, about ROI and branding, that's usually when it's a household product and it's doing billions in sales. And this isn't just for the stove, I think. I think this is for other like bowls and pizza ovens and bundles, and they sell a bunch of other stuff. But they were doing this primarily to promote the stove, which didn't work out. But keep in mind, like hindsight is 2020, so it's easy for us to say, man, that wasn't going to work out. But I'm confident. Like if I wasn't going to guess this, I would admit it. I've done this plenty of times before. I'm like, I wouldn't have actually guessed that. But for this, yeah, if somebody like tapped me on the shoulder like, hey, we think of like Snoop Dogg quit smoking weed and then we promote this stove brand, I'd have been like, yeah, that's probably going to get a lot of attention the first half, but the second half, I don't think that's going to generate much sales, if at all. But let me know how it goes. And that would genuinely be my honest response. But, you know, you live and you learn. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Any agreements, any disagreements? If you are a camper, would you buy this? And how often do you camp to buy this for it to make sense? And why wouldn't you buy this? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.